Welcome to a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. This game is going to be Lenny 12346 versus Kiki. Lenny playing as Soviets, no surprises there, and Kiki playing as the Ostherr in their respective bases. We are going to see a double combat engine, or no, triple combat engineer opening from Lenny. So that's interesting. Looks like he's not purchasing a tech structure with his opening 2, possibly thinking about getting one with his 3rd. Nope, going straight into conscripts, so 3 combat engineers into conscripts. Interesting. I'm thinking that the combat engineers are going to be for capping power.
Engineers have secured the sector.
But we'll see what he's able to do with that opening. That's a new opening. I've not seen that one, I don't think. At least not this patch. I know Run to the Sun like to do 4 combat engineers into tier 1. But 3 combat engineers into conscripts will be a new one for me, so that should be interesting. Meanwhile, his opponent is going grenadiers into a machine gun. Nothing too crazy there. Pioneers making their way towards the munitions point. Grenadiers grabbing the fuel, and it's pretty typical opening on this map to see the map divided from north to south. That's exactly what's happening here. Lenny grabbing his territory, his half of the map, if you will. His opponent doing the same. Combat engineers with conscript support moving up here towards the strategic point, though, and the very first engagement will begin. Pioneers about to be engaged at close range by these conscripts. Combat engineers will probably move up to support when they're done capturing the point. Grenadiers are in close range to support. Oh, Lenny was trying to oorah straight for the building, but that machine gun was perfectly positioned to shut that down. Oh no. That definitely didn't go well for him. Meanwhile, here in the south, though, his capping power certainly paying off. He's rapidly taking control of the entire bottom half of the map. He will be able to get these strategic points immediately adjacent to his opponent's base as well, so that certainly helps with his resource income. Combat engineers over here will get pushed away by these squads. And we also have a push here in the middle. Conscripts moving up into cover behind this tank.
Supply sector under attack.
But they're not capturing the point, so he's just kind of sitting here and getting cover. And I don't think he's going to win that. He doesn't think so either, so he's pulling back. He also has conscripts up here taking up a position in the church. Some wire being constructed on some various cover positions. He certainly has plenty of combat engineers to spare for that. Flamethrowers also being purchased. And no tech structures yet from Lenny. No upgrades either. Just nothing but combat engineers and conscripts. 4 combat engineers is quite a few. He's not going to have very much firepower as a result. Also, this patch, combat engineers are actually 10... Wait, what? I thought they were 10 manpower more. I thought they got bumped up to 180. Alright, guess not. 170. Just kidding. Unless they were 160 before, but I don't think they were.
Shoot back, comrades! Structure complete.
Man, or more wire getting constructed over there. He's just throwing barbed wire all over the place. Denying cover. Denying access. And by wiring this off, you actually kind of just give this strategic point to your enemy, which I think can be a mistake. Certainly worth at least trying to capture or harass this occasionally, especially when your opponent can't even be bothered to take it himself at 4 minutes and 45 seconds into the game. That's just free resources you're not taking advantage of.
It's ready to use.
And that comment is directed at both of these players. Both of them have had ample opportunity to grab that. Looks like we have a pretty earnest push for the center here. There is a machine gun set up to counter. Catches those conscripts in red cover. They're going to get suppressed. They do manage to screen for the flamethrower squad, which is making its way towards the building. They couldn't get inside, the grenadiers constantly darting in and out. Looks like he may have an opportunity now, though. But reinforcements are moving in from the north, and everything's going to be forced to retreat. Lenny not wanting to overextend his flamethrower squad by sticking around in that house for too long. Meanwhile, minesweepers still holding up in this building. Conscripts also defending the cutoff. And combat engineers making their way up here towards the victory point to harass. Meanwhile, here in the left, the machine gun is actually grabbing the strategic point. Should not be able to advance beyond the barbed wire, though. Grenadiers taking shots at the church. More barbed wire going up here on this cover. Conscripts taking up a position behind these fallen trees. And the Grenadiers, once finished capturing, will be making their way back to safety. Nice demo charge there by Lenny, taking out that bunker. Somewhat oddly placed. I'm not even sure whose barbed wire that is. Probably his opponent. I think. Man, there is a lot of barbed wire in this game.
We are losing territory. Aim fire on this position. Production upgrade accomplished. Enemy forces are securing our territory. Fresh conscripts have arrived.
Pioneers forced away. Oh no, Lenny just caught that machine gun extremely out of position. Oh no, he's definitely going to lose control of this,
we are losing a sector.
lose control of this section of the map. Conscripts are going to be able to take that unopposed. Bunker was destroyed by a demo charge. Machine gun forced to retreat due to getting caught out of position. Meanwhile, we have some harassment finally happening here in the south. Grenadiers grabbing the munitions point. Conscripts being mobilized to respond. They might circle around this way though. To flank? No. They're actually going to run down here towards these Grenadiers, but I don't think that conscript squad is going to be nearly enough to take on all this stuff. We do have a cache going up here though. It's a what is that? Munitions cache.
It is now under our control.
And he's only got 15 munitions despite having 52 coming in, so he must be spending a lot of munitions on something. He has a flamethrower and a minesweeper. I don't see any mines. He's been using Ura a couple of times, so he must be missing something. Well, that munitions going. Maybe he just purchased another flamethrower? No? Oh yeah, he did. He has two. Okay, that makes sense.
This now belongs to the people and
Two flamethrowers and a minesweeper.
120mm mortars are now available for deployment.
And he has chosen a doctrine, and it's actually defensive tactics, so he has access to all of its features. Straight off the bat, he's going to call in a Dushka machine gun. Meanwhile, his combat engineers here in the north will get forced away. Conscripts taking up position in some green cover to defend. Lots of harassment all over the place. Ooh. Combat engineers almost wiping out that retreating machine gun. Conscripts grabbing the fuel. And he's actually going to start planting these anti-personnel mines in the road. Interesting. His opponent still has not chosen a commander. More anti-personnel mines going down in the road. Could be dangerous for any squads retreating through them, for sure. But Lenny definitely needs to get control of this cutoff as soon as possible. Conscripts moving up to push away those Grenadiers. They just took a nasty volley in red cover. He really needs to retreat right now. He's taking heavy damage. I think he will be able to get away just barely in time. I don't think there's anything in his retreat path. That flamethrower could move to intercept, but no, now it's too late. Meanwhile, territory is falling back into Axis hands up here in the north. More anti-personnel mines going down just all over the place. Conscripts grabbing the munitions, but he still hasn't taken the cutoff. He needs to grab that. He's got tons of... Actually, okay, he's grabbing the victory point. That's just as good. Not as easy to hold, but things they'll have to do. Dushka firing on the Pioneers in green cover, but unfortunately they get suppressed by a nice machine gun on the flank. Set up a pretty good position. Grenadiers also harassing that victory point. These combat engineers will be able to finish taking the central victory point. And tank traps, I think. That's what that is, right? Yeah, tank traps. It's like fancy Soviet I-beam tank traps going up here to really block his opponent into his base.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector. We are taking fire! Awaiting command.
Finish capturing the munitions point there. Conscripts trying to force them away. It looks like they should be able to survive their retreat path though. Machine gun set up here in the center. Hitting that flamethrower squad. Ooh, but the heavy mortar is firing somewhere. And there's a big push going in on the right side. That machine gun there is probably not going to be enough to stop this flank going all the way around the north. These conscripts are pinned, but more infantry are moving up to support here. Dushka also taking up position to suppress the machine gun, and a heavy mortar is firing on it. It's going to take heavy damage. Incendiary armor-piercing rounds being fired, but it's not enough. They do get suppressed. Oh, retreat. Barely gets away. Hack is hitting the field as well.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
Although I'm not sure if Lenny intends to purchase any high-tech units. He did go tier 2, and he's purchasing a field gun now. So he doesn't want to rely purely on the M42. Certainly don't blame him.
Area secured.
Machine gun set up over here, but that's probably not going to survive a flank by these massed infantry.
We are losing a sector. Watch the flanks!
More field defenses being constructed. More tank traps.
We are being fired!
Meanwhile, up here,
Enemy forces
conscripts will get pushed back by massed
territory.
grenadiers. Machine gun firing on the combat engineers in the house.
Need something built?
Heavy mortar firing on the machine gun. Shot does not connect. More anti-personnel mines going down. Anti-tank mines also variously being placed. Just stuff everywhere here in the south. Making it pretty difficult to push there, but the Ulster player is busy with the north anyway. Heavy mortar continues to fire on that machine gun, and it's going to retreat. It's taking too much damage. You can't stick around. The Grenadiers will get control of the munitions point once again. The heavy mortar is up to 3 kills. They also have some fresh infantry standing here, probably about to make a push for the munitions once again. Machine gun taking up a position in this house, although it's rather dangerous to do so with that heavy mortar on the field. Then again, buildings are actually behave quite differently this patch than they used to, so I honestly don't even know what would happen if a heavy mortar hit this building. I guess it would probably be able to actually withstand a few shots, unlike previous patch. But I'm not sure about that. Machine gun in the house has been spotted.
We have a new Panzer.
And the mortar is repositioning.
We are as ready as we can be.
It's not firing. So I guess he's not going to be barraging
Our
that.
superiors have given given us 120mm mortars.
And we do have assault support doctrine being chosen by the Osterter player, as well as a Panzer IV being mobilized onto the field. And an Opel truck.
We have our reinforcements.
So he's going to be trying to outproduce his opponent with medium armor. Lenny does have one field gun and
Watch out!
no anti-tank grenades. He's actually extremely vulnerable to that Panzer IV right now. But that window of vulnerability is going to close very soon. Indeed, Lenny is already researching the anti-tank grenade package as soon as he sees that P4. So the P4 has very limited time in which to make its entrance. He does find a huge blob of infantry over here on the right side, though. He's not going to close the distance. Lenny is bluffing an anti-tank grenade, and it works. Kiki pulling back the Panzer IV. Meanwhile, a flamethrower is firing on conscripts in the church, but at that range, it looks like it's not all that effective. A heavy mortar is also bombarding the road, trying to unseat the pack. Doesn't look like it got any particularly lucky shots, though. Panzer IV continues to circle up around here and chases away the Dushka. Pioneers taking up their own position inside the church, but they're getting bombarded by the mortar, taking heavy damage. To get out of there. And they do get away just barely by a hair. Machine gun moving up into a more aggressive position, hits a mine, loses 2 of its 4 models. Oh no! Oh no! I think that was an anti-personnel mine or something. Oh! Really dangerous road to be trying to push. Anti-personnel mines and the anti-tank mines. That's this barrage. He really does have HE grenades this time. Charges it to get one off. The HE grenade bounces, unfortunately, but the field gun is doing good damage. Just pull that before. Oh, he cleared the field gun actually. Okay, interesting. Nice flame burst from those combat engineers, though. Heavy damage on that Grand Squad. Does not get away in time. It was a little bit slow to react. Trying to micro his other stuff, I guess. Those grenadiers go down, and his opponent just has not got much infantry. He's only got 1 grenadier squad right now. Some Pios. The rest is all machine guns. He does have a tank, so he certainly has an advantage in that regard. His opponent doesn't really have any hard counters to his tank, but he does have to be careful because if he hits a mine, he does risk losing it to the field gun.
The new Grenadier squad is ready.
Things are pretty quiet. Lenny recuperating from that push. Teching up, surprisingly. And reinforcing his conscripts, as well as bringing his mortars back up into a more aggressive position. His opponent doing the same, dangerously close with some of these team weapons up against 2 heavy mortars. You need to be careful about machine gun placement. Dushka getting suppressed immediately. It has to reposition. It does get caught in red cover, but the heavy mortars are firing. Shots do not connect. The field gun set up in a pretty defensive position, pretty conservative, far back position. Rifle grenade doing pretty decent damage to the mortar, and Dushka, they're going to be forced to retreat. I don't think this is even going to survive. There it goes. Maybe. There it goes. Conscripts moving up. Meanwhile, combat engineers circling around the north, but they're kind of just standing there in red cover. conscripts oorahing across, trying to flank this machine gun. Or just charge straight towards it, I guess, in a giant blob. Oh, but the Panzer IV finally hits a mine. This engine is going to be damaged. And I think it can get away. I don't know if Lenny's even going to try and follow up. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't really have any way to follow up. His Su-85 is producing, but it's just not going to be soon enough, unfortunately. If only he had a way to chase that thing down. Now it has a damaged engine. At the very least, he will force it away, force it back for repairs, give him a little bit more time to get his bearings, push back some of these machine guns, recrew some of his own weapons as well.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Lenny making a bit of a harassment attempt here in the north. Take a look at Kiki's repair potential. It's not much. He's only got one pioneer squad, which makes things pretty difficult for him. Especially when he keeps getting distracted by Lenny's harassment here. We'll be able to get some repairs off now. Lenny continuing to spread himself all over the map, taking pretty much everything over here as well as the munitions point simultaneously. The Su-85 is moving up to take shots on that Panzer IV, which is still quite vulnerable, but there is a second Panzer IV on the field as well, and it's going to be making its way towards the engagement. I don't know if it's going to get there in time, though. The Su-85 actually just found an Opel Blitz, I think, but it missed. How is that even possible? It like hit one of the ammo crates next to it, and then it got destroyed engine. There it goes. Okay. Well, unfortunately, he's not going to be taking out that Panzer IV with the pack moving up to support, and the second Panzer IV on its way. Lenny has spotted the second Panzer IV, though. Got two infantry kills, but Lenny, I think, he had the presence of mind to retreat just in time. Also retreating some infantry away, so pretty successful harassment overall. Took out an Opel Blitz and captured some territory. But he's going to have to be really careful about taking on those Panzer IVs with his Su-85. But having taken out that Opel Blitz is going to help in the economic battle. His opponent will be able to outproduce him too easily, at least. The fuel incomes are 32 and 20 actually, so Lenny has quite a distinctive advantage thanks to his generally better hold on the strategic points. And Lenny definitely has the fuel to call in more armor. His second Su-85 is already on the field. He might even consider a third, or perhaps a Katyusha, or I guess an Su-76. Who knows? Panzer IV is making a frontal assault on the field gun. Dushka does pin down the advancing MG42 and is forced to retreat. This MG42 is getting burst down by flames, and it also has to retreat. And that Panzer IV keeps on dancing into the arc of this field gun, taking really heavy damage. Fortunately, none of Lenny's tank destroyers are nearby to support. Oh wait, yes they are. There's one right there.
Capturing our supplies.
Both of the Panzer IVs are now just extraordinarily wounded. It looks like Lenny is thinking about going in hard. Fortunately, pathing is making that difficult for that one. Nice shot on that Panzer IV. Does take it out. Looks like he's going to continue the chase. This Su-85 is just floundering, though. Engine damaged. Meanwhile, this Panzer IV is all the way back in his base. Now that was not the best use of that Su-85, charging it straight into that pack and then just kind of like getting stuck. Meanwhile, this one couldn't find the Panzer IV. He did take out one, was going to have to pull back. That was such an unfortunate waste. Made a big play with this one, but then threw the other one away simultaneously, so I guess that was kind of a win-lose situation. Zero sum. How much did they each cost anyway? 340 and 120 for an Su-85, and his opponent spent 350 and 125. So the Panzer IV is a little bit more expensive. So I guess technically that's a win for Lenny, but I mean they cost virtually the same. A third Panzer IV is being fielded now. More field defenses going down by these combat engineers as well. Tons of anti-personnel mines, anti-tank mines. Oh, oh man! I just jumped out of my chair a little bit. I wasn't expecting that. That caught me off guard.
Enemy is taking our territory.
Heavy mortar firing on those grenadiers, and if they take one wrong step, could be disastrous. I can't even see the anti-personnel mines. They're like invisible. Oh, jeez, punishing those pushes really hard.
Structure complete. Under fire. MG engaging us. This territory is ours.
Heavy mortar continuing to bombard this house. Lenny's harassment of the north continues. Even under machine gun fire, attempting to capture the munitions point, but it does get pinned, and the Panzer IVs are making their way across the north, counter-harassing these conscripts. Defensive machine guns are going to force them to make a hasty retreat. The house is leveled, but the machine gun is repositioned outside of it. The axe is also still set up. All of it is being forced to retreat. The Su-85 is, on its way to assist, but that Panzer IV just sustained engine damage. Then he attempts to damage the other one's engine, but unfortunately the anti-tank grenade bounces. Oh, look at that crush! Nasty crush just wipes a conscript squad. This one's about to go down to Panzer Grenadiers. But fortunately, they got an AT grenade off before they were forced to retreat, which means that this Su-85 won't get outmaneuvered. It does hit Vet 1, giving it the ability to self-sight, I believe, which it utilizes to destroy that Panzer IV. That was a very fateful usage of that focus sight ability, which I think that's the Vet 1 ability. I'm not actually sure about that. Oh no, maybe tracking is the Vet 1 ability. Ooh, anti-personnel mines almost clear out that pack. He just keeps walking stuff into this like death zone. Those anti-personnel mines, in my opinion, are really exactly how S mines should be. How they leave no signposts or warning or anything. I don't really know why the S mines have that, but that's great. A great tool to have at your disposal. Combat engineers barely making it away.
Pack loaded for panzer hunting. German territory increases.
More field defenses being constructed over here, as well as some map harassment. Lenny holds the central victory point, cutting his opponent off from his munitions. As for the victory points, Lenny has a pretty distinct advantage, only 200 remaining for his opponent.
Watch for counterattacks.
But 2 Panzer IVs have been destroyed to only 1 of Lenny's Su-86s, so Kiki is quite behind in the fuel game, especially considering his ability to hold on to the map. He's probably going to find himself getting outproduced by waves and waves of Soviet tank destroyers, especially if these heavy mortars continue to bleed him, one of which has 12 kills, the other one has 6. So I guess they're actually not even doing that spectacular, so they're not doing poorly. Hoorahing around behind that shed makes it just in time.
MG support standing by. We have 200 points remaining.
repositioning. We also have like a zillion machine guns over here, covering every imaginable flank. Panzer IV is also making its way towards the center with Pioneer and Pack support, going to try and get control of that victory point once again. And I can already see Lenny planting mines in various locations.
We have secured additional territory.
But none where that Panzer IV could hit one. But fortunately, we finally have a minesweeper on Kiki's Pioneers here, so that should definitely help him take control of the middle without getting bled so hard. Of course, the heavy mortars are still a pretty significant concern. Su-85 moving up.
You need something? There are mines. We'll find them. Su-85 firing. Mine, sir. They're coming from behind. Taking indirect fire.
Oh.
Grenadiers under fire.
Not even. Oh, jeez. Barely make it away. I'm not sure how those anti-personnel mines just detonated on that minesweeper squad. I don't know why they were active. Maybe there was some kind of splash damage happening or something. Su-85 does sustain a Panzerfaust over here on the right side. Needs to get some repairs. Heavy mortar continuing to fire in this vicinity. Pack needs to be careful. The Panzer IV also pretty desperately needs repairs. He does have a few Pioneer squads upgraded with minesweepers, which is definitely, again, very good decision considering what he's up against. But it is costing him a bit of munitions.
The enemy is attempting to steal
He's
our sector.
still really behind us for infantry. He only has one general infantry squad, dedicated anti-tank infantry squad, minesweepers. So he's got quite a bit of utility. He just doesn't have any like core anti-infantry firepower in anything except for his Panzer IV, which is probably why he continues to crank them out. But he just needs to be more careful with them, not lose them to Lenny's mines and Su-85s, which combine to be pretty effective. Because he continues to feel the need to bridge the gap with Panzer IVs, he's nowhere near being able to afford a Tiger. I would be surprised to see one at all this game. He would have to save for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes more worth of fuel without any fuel purchases to be able to afford one. He could do it if the game runs particularly long, but it seems unlikely at this point. Ooh, bundle grenade going out! Oh, it was a little off target, unfortunately. Could have been devastating. This heavy mortar is repositioning into a more aggressive position, but it gets caught by those Pioneers. It's gonna get cleared. Oh, nice merge! He oorah'd into a merge with his heavy mortar. Did not want to lose the veterancy on there. It does have 12 kills, so not a bad decision. He would, of course, lose access to precision shot should that happen. The second Panzer IV has arrived, but the two Su-85s are also on the field. In addition to the field gun, I don't know if this Su-85 is going to be sufficient to take on two Panzer IVs over here on the right. Unfortunately, it is sufficient to push them away. They are pulling back. Meanwhile, here in the center, Lenny continues to do battle with this machine gun. This mortar auto-firing away. This mortar also firing on the infantry and machine gun here in the center, so the bleed continues. Ooh, that was a pretty good one.
We are suffering losses.
Lenny's pinned here. It's probably just a matter of time before that gets wiped out. Ooh, this one already has been. Oh, nasty heavy mortar fire. Just leaving his troops under heavy mortar fire. He really needs to just constantly keep everything repositioning, otherwise he's gonna get punished for it. Of Forces a retreat from that machine gun. Combat engineers will finally have an opening to grab the central victory point, but again, Panzer IVs are a pretty continuous threat. Su-85s struggle a little bit on this map to deal with them because of the myriad of obstacles. It's usually quite difficult to find a line on an enemy tank with a turretless tank destroyer. The Jackson does a little bit better, but main battle tanks seem to do the best, more so than tank destroyers on this particular map. Which is why it's not entirely surprising to see Panzer IVs from Kiki, although Lenny did choose to go tier 4 instead of tier 3. And I thought that that was motivated by a desire to bring in Katyusha, but not yet. And maybe he just thinks that, that wouldn't be a worthwhile purchase, considering what he's up against is just constant spam of Panzer IVs. Not particularly hard to crack defensive positions. He does have a lot of machine guns, but his heavy mortars have been doing more than enough to get rid of those. Nice use of the minesweeper to clear out some mines here.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Should potentially be able to get rid of both of those, although combat engineers are moving up to push that back away. Meanwhile, Lenny is once again sending a big harassment attempt here through the north, grabbing territory, spreading himself out quite a bit, doing what he can despite being under fire. Pretty much immediately retreats that combat engineer squad, and there's an Ostwind on the field moving up to do what it can against some of these infantry, but there is an Su-85 in the field. Good. Screening. More mines getting swept up here. Grenadiers and machine gun making their way down the road. There's another mine right there. He is charging in pretty deep without minesweeper support. Fortunately, there are no mines in this general area. The house collapses and a heavy mortar force make a quick retreat. The field gun has rotated to help against this, but the P4s are going in really hard. Lenny's Su-85s are so out of position. This one's just about dead. And the other one here in the north taking shots on the Ostwind. Oh man, it didn't get away. The Panzerschreck squad finished it off. Meanwhile, the field gun's been cleared. Ostwind's taking heavy damage and is about to take out that Dushka, but this Su-85 is probably going to be able to take out. Yep, there it goes. That Panzer IV was trying to pull off some kind of flank, but it just didn't work. This one could pop Blitz. He's just now got the munitions for it. He should probably do it if he wants to escape. I don't think he will otherwise. Look at the rate of fire on that Su-85. It's just taking everything out. Unfortunately, the Panzer Grenadiers are forced to retreat. And 3 tanks destroyed by 1 Su-85. Wow. Meanwhile, Lenny's infantry forces have taken the entire map. Very nice by Lenny to manage to get his infantry going and doing something useful despite being in the midst of a huge tank engagement. That's not easy to do. It's really quite impressive, actually. Especially because he won the tank engagement. Although he did lose that Su-85. So this particular Su-85 has worked wonders for him, having taken out 4 tanks. And 1 friendly, apparently. I'm not sure how that happened. And the mines are doing the rest, bleeding his opponent's infantry left and right. And the heavy mortars. It's got to be frustrating to just be constantly walking into mines and heavy mortar fire. And I don't think that the All-Star player is going to be able to keep up. He's sustained just devastating losses. 3 Panzer IVs, an Ostwind, an Opal. Just lots of stuff getting taken out. more heavy mortar fire, continuing to bleed his opponent. And Lenny continues to make harassment attempts in various locations on the map, sort of staggering his pushes, not really doing anything in one big unified attempt. Just trying to continue to harass the map, rather than make too much focus on personal engagements. Oh no, run! There's a nice bundled grenade. Looks like that munitions cache is going to go down too. These Panzer Grenadiers are definitely pulling their weight this game. 14 kills, not bad. Taking out an Su-85. Wonderful squad there, taking out that cache. And it looks like Lenny actually teched to tier 3. Look at that. He felt the need to use some armor to finish out the game. Oh no, his opponent just dropped a Panzer Shrek. I assume Lenny probably saw that too, since it looks like he's... Yeah, he probably did. Yep, recovered it with those conscripts. Panzer Grenadiers may go down here. There is a pack screening. And all the T-34 shots missed. Coaxial machine gun not sufficient to take it out, so those received accuracy bonuses that it's got, certainly saving its life by a hair there. Pack does force the T-34 away. No use to target weak point. Probably could have even killed it if a target weak point shot had connected, but did not opt to use that. The conscripts start grabbing the fuel down here, and Lenny definitely needs to do some map harassment to get control back in his hands. The second T-34 hitting the field now, and Lenny just has tons of fuel. He really needs to press his economic advantage, but it's difficult when he's stuck reinforcing massive waves of T weapons and conscripts.
Taken it.
In fact, just look at his manpower income. He's only got 160 coming in right now because he's just about pop capped 96 out of 100, whereas his opponent is down to just 45. I mean, just look at the relative sizes of their armies. Machine gun fight here on the victory point. Doesn't look like it's going so well for Lenny's machine gun, which just got pinned. T-34s are making their way across the right side, taking shots at that Grenadier squad. Meanwhile, on the left, Lenny is taking control of the munitions back. Minesweeper Pios grabbed that strategic point. Meanwhile, the center victory point is contested by some conscripts, but there's plenty available to stop it. Grenadiers and machine gun. Heavy mortar continues to fire. Oh, that was an nasty mine. I thought it was going to be a squad wipe. I was so clumped.
Panzer IV is ready for battle. Panzer Grenadiers standing by. That's everyone! Grenadiers ready!
Yet another Panzer IV hitting the field, but it's really going to struggle to compete with the competitive Su-85 and two T-34s on its own. Pack and Panzer Shrek squad is certainly going to be a good supplement to the anti-tank damage, but unfortunately they've dropped one of their Panzer Shreks, and this pack hasn't got much that can keep Lenny's conscripts at bay available to support. Looks like it could go down. Yep, there it goes. All the veterans team in that pack just gone. For the Panzer IV, and Lenny pulls off a perfect flank with that Su-85. That Panzer IV has no chance of survival with the Su-85's like huge rate of fire. Gets torn to shreds. Meanwhile, these conscripts take out a full pioneer squad. Austrian forces are just falling apart. There's almost nothing left.
We are losing a sector.
And Kiki gives up.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
I think that there may be a bug in there might be a bug in observer mode that now causes like chat messages or something. I don't know.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
GG being exchanged. Lenny continuing to take pretty much the entire map. Austrian player has basically nothing left. And yeah, I think there's some kind of problem this patch with replays, because I keep getting this thing. Well, okay, whatever. Good game, well played by both sides. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to send me a replay of your own. Happy to do a cast for you. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. And thank you for watching.